Good morning, how are you today? It's a beautiful Tuesday in beautiful Brisbane, Australia. My name's Linda, I'm your trauma recovery coach, and I duck by every day so that I can give you language around what's happening for you and also give you some hot tips as to how you can integrate the language into your life and take those observations and take them to your therapist or your coach, or sit down and journal them and come into a greater awareness of where you're not feeling alive in life. And let me know how you are today. Say g'day. And if you're here for the replay, do a hashtag replay. It's always wonderful to share time with you. Normally I've been coming in at 7, but my daughter has started her placement journey. So she did her certificate for aged care, and now she's down at placement. So it's in a few suburbs away, so I take her down each morning, so then it's due and duck on in to say g'day. Today I wanted to have a quick chat about stress and how what's called maladaptive coping mechanisms. So around the boards and around any groups that you might be in, you might see the word maladaptive, but what does it mean for us when we've got stress and anxiety, and what does adaptive mean? And they're really big words that basically mean healthy and unhealthy. So what were the maladaptive, unhealthy mechanisms that I learned growing up and that I've still got as an adult because I haven't sat down and recognised them? And what are the adaptive mechanisms that I've learned to handle stress? And they're healthy for me, and they help me grow, and they help me be healthy. It's simple for big complex terms. So and this language is, floating around the internet at this time. So if we were to look at maladaptive, so the unhealthy mechanisms that we learned growing up, in order that when we were stressed, we use them instead of being told or explained or educated on how to have adaptive, so healthy coping mechanisms when we had stress. So you can think about things like, when you get stressed now as an adult, so you don't have to go back into the past at all. So when I get stressed now as an adult, what do? Do I shut down? Do I build a brick wall and, basically walk around with a brick wall between me and the world for days? Do I sit down and eat pounds and pounds of chocolate? What else can we do? Do I, get migraines because I've been trying to do everything perfectly? Do I blame everybody else and believe that I've got to sort everybody else's mess out? What else? Do I drink too much? Do I smoke? So think about things that are unhealthy for your body that you do. Do I take drugs? And drugs that, interfere with you having a healthy life. What else can we, look, there's so many things. Yeah, hi Brenda, yeah, chocolate. Well, we all know that, chocolate and I used to be like this. But, so what do you do when you get really stressed? What do you do? What's your unhealthy coping mechanism that you do? So it's a matter of identifying it. I know a couple of decades ago, my unhealthy coping mechanism was definitely, let's put up a wall for 3 days, because it would take me so long to process what's going on, because I didn't have language. And look, the first day I went to work in the city, 30 years ago, or more than 30 years ago, oh my goodness, I had no language around what I was feeling, and I did not know that I had anxiety when I went into this whole new situation, had to learn a whole new routine around hundreds of people. And, so when I got on the train that night, not only did I throw up out of the train, I had a migraine, and I was so unwell that night, okay? Because we had no language. And so we've got to share language with each other. And in my family, communication, about about emotions was never a hot topic, I can assure you. But then, yeah, but they're healthy mechanisms, Brenda. Cleaning, I don't know about cleaning. Cleaning, cooking, puzzles. They're healthy mechanisms for stress. Whereas the unhealthy things are when we can't get the stress out of us. We can't relay how we're feeling. We can't find what we can do in a healthy manner because we haven't been equipped. So my unhealthy mechanism, when I had no language and I had no idea that I had anxiety, was that I just didn't talk because we didn't talk in my family about how we felt. And that's okay, look, for generations that's gone on. But what I did with my kids was I said, no matter what, I love you. And no matter what, we'll sit down and talk it through. We'll work it out. And we do. But I had to teach myself those mechanisms. So does that make sense? So when we're going from maladaptive to adaptive coping mechanisms, we often have to educate ourselves about what we can do that's healthy. So like Brenda just said, healthy coping mechanisms are for her cleaning, cooking, doing puzzles, and I love your puzzles. For me, healthy coping mechanisms, the very first one I ever did was journaling, like decades ago. I'd sit down and journal as I tried to put language around the stress of the day and get all the emotions out. And generally around that time, a lot of my emotions were so frustrated and angry because I didn't get it. I didn't understand, and I didn't understand that what I was going through was quite normal. So we have to give ourselves a break and not blame ourselves because it was normal for where we were at that time. And it's normal for us until we have an equipping, an education, a deeper understanding that there are healthier ways to go about things. I used to smoke like over 30 years ago. Sorry, my hay fever's playing up today, can you tell? But I stopped because I knew it was unhealthy for me. And oh boy, I'm glad I did. The cost of cigarettes in Australia, wow, just wow. So I'm glad I gave up smoking. Unhealthy coping mechanisms I have are eating junk food. I don't do a lot of it these days, obviously, because I'm on keto and eating well. But in the past, oh, heck yeah, just, if I get stressed, I get tired, the first thing I would reach for was junk food. And the thing is, we can't beat ourselves up. We just say, oh, that's what I'm doing. So I need to address the stress and equip myself with ways around putting the stress in an order. Okay, when we create order out of the stress, it becomes a lot easier for us to go, right, how can I get to feeling healthy in my heart through healthy coping mechanisms? Oh, you smoke, yeah. Well, then the question becomes, when you get stressed, do you smoke more? Does that make sense? So if I have an unhealthy coping mechanism, we do it more when we're stressed and not dealing with the emotions. Or, an even better way to phrase that is, when we become stressed and we don't know how to process it, we don't know what to do about the situation, then we increase our unhealthy mechanisms. Okay? So, I know people who increase their input of sugar when they're stressed because they don't know how to process the emotions. And we've got to learn that that's okay because we haven't necessarily learned how to deal with different situations. And look, when we go through things like grief, when we go through things like divorce, okay, when we go through things like we get a health diagnosis like cancer, when we lose a child, and so much more, sorry, heart connect, we often don't have the language, we haven't been through these things before as an adult, and we need time to process the emotions and put them in an order. My mum passed away over 20 years ago, But I still find myself at times needing the language to put around what I'm feeling and processing it because, I miss her. And then a friend of mine passed away this year who was like a second mum to me, and I miss her in my heart so much. Sometimes we just need to cry, but then sometimes we need to sit down and reflect on the bigger picture in life too. So not just about the immediate stress, the bigger picture of where I'm going in my life. What's that mean for me? Ask ourselves meaningful questions too. Discern when my voice, inner voice, my thoughts are saying, no, you've got to do it this way or that way. And go, no, I just want to sit and do life and really process my emotions so that I gain a deeper understanding of them. And that's something nobody else can do for us. We have to do this work ourselves. Okay, I don't know how long I've been talking for. I lost track of time. Oh, here we go, 10 minutes. All right, so I want you to think about what's something that you can do next time you recognise that you're having a maladaptive or unhealthy coping mechanism happening. So if you're sitting on the couch Netflixing and all of a sudden you realise that you're just stuffing junk food in, ask yourself, am I doing this because I don't know how to process my feelings, or am I doing this because I'm just enjoying sitting here and stuffing my face? Now, if you're enjoying sitting there stuffing your face, okay, no problem. But if you're doing it because the pressure's become too much and you don't know how to process it, sit with somebody and process it. Journal. Look, if you hate writing, and look, I know people who just, the concept of journaling is very hard for them, and sit and talk into a microphone app on your phone. Find one, Google microphone app. Anything to get like stale air out of you. It helps, all right? We're made for communication. We're made to belong. We're made to relate. So get out there and get it up and out. And when you sit with people, we can just listen. But also, you can just say to somebody, I just need you to listen because I need to process this through because there's a bigger picture happening here. And I can't quite see it yet. Okay? I love you all heaps. Thanks for joining in. Colour. Yes! Do you know how... Have you coloured, Brenda? Do you know how... I've got colouring in here, but I haven't done it in ages. But it is so stress reducing and just helps process. It's that whole cognitive function. That's why I've journaled for years, because it's getting it out and engaging, Okay, gang, blessings and dreams. Have a gorgeous day, and I will be back tomorrow. And if you've got any unhealthy mechanisms and you're having trouble processing, just let me know. Happy to just sit with you and listen as you type them out. Not a problem at all. Or come and join us in group. Okay, blessings and dreams. Have a gorgeous day or night, and I will see you tomorrow.